Well, good morning. Today I'm going to show you everything I'm taking with me on this camping trip. So this would be the most I ever put on the bike. I would never need to put more on it. This is everything, including everything for filming and everything else. So I'm going to go through quickly what luggage I do have. I have an Aldi tank bag. I have Moto Dry ZXS2 Panniers. I have a Wolfman rear bag. I have 2 backpacks. I'll explain how everything goes into each thing and how it goes on the bike. Okay. So inside the tank bag, the deepest part of the compartment has all my linings for my jacket, my waterproof pants, emergency whiskey. The next layer up has charging devices, some cameras and things that I'm going to be swapping around quite quick. I've got a charger that's wired through to the battery permanently on. I will use it while I'm riding, but I'll also use it overnight, and it has charged 2 drift batteries overnight. It's never had any impact on the amount of charge needed to start the bike. That's a very low amount of power you're using there. In the top bit there's just basically a sun hat, the foot to put under my side stand when it's a bit muddy. There's a side bit there with a few extra things in it. Cash, in case you need cash, and some charging stuff. These panniers are mounted on the old mounts that came with the panniers, which are no longer any good. The panniers, that is. The mounts are fantastic, and I've used them to help keep these stable. In the right hand pannier we have a dry bag with clothes, a thermos which I bring spare water with, and then it's useful if I want to use the thermos later for short day trips with coffees or hiking, something to make coffee with. Rocky Creep Designs compressor and a puncture repair kit. In the side little pocket goes some tools. So there's the Honda toolkit, which is actually pretty good, but I have these because I know these are the sort of things I need to access fairly quickly, so I have them as well. There's a camping knife, pressure gauge, lighter, various zip ties. Now you may notice everything basically has a plastic bag it goes in, as well as going inside the luggage, because nothing is really waterproof. This is the truth of it. In the right hand pannier I have another dry bag for clothes, bottle of my moonshine wrapped up in a towel to help it survive any drops, hiking shoes. In there is a spare bulb for the front headlamp, which has gone on me about every 15 to 20,000 kilometers it seems to go. In the side pocket there are some visor wipes and things like that, bug spray, sun cream. In here I keep vinegar, which is very handy for stings and bites to relieve pain. Some spare elastic bands in there. Now the Wolfman tail bag, it has 2 edges that kind of drop down almost like panniers, and I'll show you how that works in a bit. In here we have my companion Pro Hiker 2 tent. This has lasted me all of my biking life and is just still in great condition. Love it, still use it a lot. I got a Ronin sleeping bag. It's supposed to be rated to 0 degrees C. It didn't work for me in those temperatures, so I've got a Ronin sleeping bag liner, which does help with that. I've got a blow up pillow, just a cheap one. I've got an X-Ped Sinmat 7M. The only problem with this X-Ped, it's a bloody brilliant mat, but it makes farting noises on the floor of the tent, so I put this under it, this little foamy, which is also useful for me doing stretches and exercises on. In this container I have my head torch and a room torch and all the spare batteries I'm going to need for those things. This is my kitchen in here. There's basically a 360 stove. Inside it's 2 pots, obviously a plate bowl type thing, knives and forks, everything you need, lots of salts and pepper sachets, and a container with washing up liquid in it, and another container with laundry liquid in it. So those things I need. This is for shoveling you know what. There's a toiletry bag, camping hammer, spare fuel for the stove, and that all goes in there. This dry bag, I keep my Rocky Creek Designs chair and table, and also the tarp will go in there at the end. I'll show you how that works in helping things to be mounted on the bike. This bag gets mounted on the very rear of the bike, and it was what I made the special mount for recently. I'll show you what's inside the bag. Okay, so these are my tripods, some of the other cameras in there, some spare cameras, my drone. Down the bottom there's a couple of metal containers in a plastic bag. It has all the drone batteries, all the spare batteries, all the power packs, and some leads for the same, for those things. Got a bottle of water. In the top here, got some snacks that I'll have on the road. Next layer down is where I keep my extra cameras, so the one I'm actually using at the moment, plus my little compact camera. In the front most accessible pocket is my first aid kit. It's in there. Lastly is the backpack that I wear on my actual back. So it has spare water in the pockets. Inside is basically the laptop, all the mains power type things, so power supplies, chargers, all those sort of things, and a four-way thing to plug into mains where I go, and I set up my massive recharging setup. Alright, so we'll show you how it all goes on the bike now, I guess. Something I've always loved about the CB, the grab bars are perfect to mount things on. You see under there, you can get a strap around there, and then around the rear part, through there, absolutely stable. My very first thing I did was got an old backpack, school backpack of my daughter's, and put it on there, and the straps went around there, held it on. I've put all sorts of things on there, used extra straps to hold them on. Talking of extra straps, there's two big pockets on the outside of the Wolfman bag. I've got a lot of extra straps in one. Another one is just room for food and stuff like that to carry. There's also a waterproof cover for the whole bag that's in one of them, fits over the whole bag. Alright, so what I've done with this dry bag is I've put the chair and table in there and the tarp, and I'm going to now put that onto the bike on here where it'll actually level up where the rear bag sits, give the rear bag a little bit of height to just let the two sides drop down on top of those, and keep everything kind of stable, and it does work unbelievably. So the last thing to go on the bike is this backpack on that special little thing that I designed for it. So one of the things that I do when putting all of this on the bike is I try and make sure it's evenly balanced left to right, which it is. I try and make sure everything heavy is at the front of those bags, and that puts everything in front of the rear axle, which stops the front of the bike from becoming light on the steering. So yes, this backpack, these straps just go around the rear bag, and it holds on as if the rear bag was wearing the backpack as such. So that's it. That's how I load the bike up for this giant trip. That's as much as I load on there. So yeah, I thought it might be useful for anybody with this bike or thinking of going camping, give them some ideas. You don't need to load this much stuff unless you've got 8 cameras and a drone. So you can do with that entire bag and the backpack that I wear. So yeah, you could have a lot less if you're not some crazy filmmaker like me. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of that. Catch you on the next one. In the meantime, be safe and be happy.